And now, suspense.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Fox, and today I have a huge Steelbook update. Gonna show off all of the Steelbooks that I've been picking up lately. Mostly, I'm gonna say this is all from the month of April and May. Mostly May. I did a lot of picking up in May. So I used to be really deep into Steelbooks. Most of my collection was imports from Germany, Spain, the UK. I didn't care if it was region free or region B, whatever. I really only collected them for the artwork and just for the sake of them being steelbooks. And a little while back, I sold off a majority of my steelbooks. I still kept a bunch that I really enjoyed, especially ones that are just very hard to find, and ones that I just love the artwork so much that I just could not part with it. So my steelbook collection has downsized immensely. I made a lot of good money from my steelbooks, which allowed me to, buy other stuff that I wanted.
Money.
But I'm not 100% out of the Steelbook game. I still collect Steelbooks now and again, obviously with this video, but I'm just more selective nowadays. So when presented with the option of the regular 4K or a Steelbook, I'll usually just weigh the options, and if I feel like the Steelbook is just a better option and they're usually around the same price range, I'll just go for the Steelbook. So I'm going to start with the Blu-rays. There's only 2 Blu-ray Steelbooks. The rest are all 4K. I found at Bookman's the Leprechaun collection here on Steelbook. It has every single Leprechaun movie, including Leprechaun Origins, which was a sort of semi reboot in a way. I've never seen it because it just looked awful, and I'm sure it is, but it's Leprechaun, so what can you expect? I actually love the Leprechaun movies. These are probably like one of my favorite horror movie franchise, if I'm being completely honest. But I feel like Leprechaun just holds a special place in my heart because I grew up watching these movies. As the series just went on, it just got more and more ridiculous. Fun fact, the very first Leprechaun was supposed to be a more serious and just straightforward horror movie, but along the way, I guess they figured that like the premise of it was just pretty ridiculous, so they added a lot more humor. They added a lot more kills that were just kind of ridiculous. And in my opinion, it worked. I don't know if it would have worked as just a straightforward horror movie because, like I said, the premise of it, I think, is just ridiculous. But as a kid, my favorite was Leprechaun in Space because I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. And of course, you also have the Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah, the bar.
Because, once you go into space, the only other place you can go to is the Hood. So next up is my favorite anime of all time, Suzume. I saw this in theaters and I absolutely loved it. And I had been championing this movie for a while, telling everybody to go see it. It actually didn't do so well in theaters, but a lot of times anime films like this don't do very well in theaters just because people aren't really checking for them. Even with how great a popularity anime has, it just doesn't have a big enough draw in American theaters. So I wasn't sure if this was going to get a physical release, but then they announced that it was, and it was a Steelbook. And I went to my Walmart, they had it, so I had to grab it. It was the only copy that they had. But yeah, I absolutely love this artwork. I think it's amazing. It is awesome. I love the colors of it. So Suzume is about a girl who meets and follows this guy into some old ruins and finds a door, opens it up, and unwittingly unleashes a entity that just feeds off of chaos, destruction, and just the agony and pain of living things. And the reason why she has to do it herself and become this kind of key holder is because our male lead gets turned into a 3-legged chair, which is the most hilarious thing I have ever seen. And only that could work in an anime. Next up is kind of an underrated dark comedy that I saw once when it came out, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So I saw it again at Bookman's, and it was very cheap for the Steelbook, so I decided to pick up Arizona. I'm from Arizona, so anytime there's a movie that takes place in Arizona or was even filmed in Arizona, I like to kind of give it a shot or just own it because there's really not a whole lot. There kind of is, but in the grand scheme of film, there really isn't a whole lot of movies set in Arizona. So I think it's pretty cool when they are. So Danny McBride is down on his luck. He's about to lose his house because he got kind of suckered into buying a property in this developing community that just never took off, which is kind of crazy because that's exactly how it kind of is here. There are a lot of booming communities, but if you buy in early, sometimes you might get stuck with a house that isn't worth anything because the community doesn't take off. It's a gamble. So he kind of ends up on the wrong side of that. and then kind of goes crazy, and a whole bunch of people start dying. So I thought it was pretty interesting. Next up is a movie that is considered pretty bad. I don't know. I remember watching it the first time and thinking, this isn't as bad as a lot of people say. But hey, it bankrupted a studio. So what do I know? But yeah, Cutthroat Island. This steelbook is awesome. I really like this steelbook. And if you've seen the movie, this might look familiar to you. And I didn't notice that until I started watching it when I brought it home, and I thought it was crazy. I was like, whoa, all right, yeah, I know what that is. But yeah, I think this design is really, really cool. But yeah, Cutthroat Island, Gina Davis, she plays a pirate. I feel like we need more female pirates in movies. But yeah, Cutthroat Island, the steelbook is awesome. The movie's pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. Next up is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The artwork on this isn't too bad. I mean, it's kind of plain, but I kind of like it. It reminds me of what an old movie poster would look like. So I found this at Bookman's for $20. Still the J card. It was brand new. I opened it though. So this is pretty cool. Has a little poster there. I really like the artwork on the discs. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a classic. I don't know what else to say about it. I need to rewatch this because I've only ever seen it one time, and it was a really long time ago. So I don't really remember it very much. Hopefully I like it, but if not, I mean, I don't know. Next up is something I've been wanting to watch for a while now, and I'm glad I found it. And I found a steelbook, The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. So basically, this is the alternate version of The Godfather Part 3 that unanimously is kind of known to be the worst in the series. I personally don't think it's bad. It is a good movie, but it definitely isn't to the caliber of the first two, which are masterpieces. And and if you know me, you know that I think The Godfather, the first one, is the greatest movie of all time. It is absolutely perfect. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is basically the greatest movie ever made.
I give it a 10. A 10, a fucking 10.
But The Godfather Coda is an alternate version that a lot of people say is actually a far superior version of The Godfather 3. So I really need to make the time to watch this. But knowing me, I'm going to want to watch all three back to back. So I really have to set aside the time for that. It's kind of whack that there's only one disc, this is the 4K. But I did keep my Blu-ray copies. So I have the Blu-ray and the 4K just in case I need them. And it's The Godfather. I could own like 10 copies of The Godfather and I would have zero problem with that. Next up is Red Dawn. I really like this artwork on the steelbook. I like the red on there. It's pretty cool. I think the red really makes the steelbook pop. It looks really cool. Really clean. And then we got the invaders there. Red Dawn. This is one of those movies too that I have only seen in parts growing up, and when I rewatched it, I enjoyed it. I think it's really good. I think for the time, it was pretty shocking. I remember thinking when I was a kid, when I first saw this, I was thinking like this was the most shocking thing I've ever seen. Because I'm just like, wow, like what if that were to happen? That would be insane. And rewatching it, I think it still holds up, like the fear of like war, and then just the fear of just being helpless. Like that still kind of resonates, And next up is a first time watch for me. Coraline here. I really like the artwork on these releases. But yeah, I did find Coraline at my Walmart, and I just thought I had to get this one because I really like the artwork, and I just been wanting to watch this for the longest time, but just never really did. This is a very, very creepy movie. I don't know who it's geared towards. I don't know if it's geared towards children because this would scare children, and it's not dark enough in a way to be geared towards adults. So this is kind of a weird movie, but yeah, there's like a little poster in here. It's really cool. It looks amazing on 4K. Just like the visuals alone, I think are just really, really gorgeous to look at. Next up, found this one brand new, not anymore because I opened it to watch it because my kids really enjoyed it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 4K Steelbook. That is a long title, and having to search this up to look for it because my kids really enjoyed the movie, so I wanted to get it on 4K. So every time I tried to look it up, I had to put on that long title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 4K Steelbook. God, or just 4K. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the movie here. It did honestly take me a little bit to get used to the animation style. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I know nowadays, like everyone wants to copy the Spider-Verse kind of template where they're having all kinds of different artistic styles. And even in Across the Spider-Verse, I didn't really care for some of the animation styles because it looked way too like scattered, and I found it kind of hard to just for my eyes to adjust and just to kind of focus on what I'm supposed to be looking at or what it was that I'm looking at. And I kind of felt like this in this movie. I do like the storyline. I think the characters are really cool. They captured the essence of what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are, in my opinion. Jackie Chan as Splinter is probably my favorite part.
You watch a movie with a human?
He was great. I really liked him in that. Ice Cube as the villain was a little jarring just because I'm so used to hearing Ice Cube's voice, and I just kept seeing Ice Cube and hearing Ice Cube. I couldn't think of the character as anything other than Ice Cube voicing this character, so that was pretty distracting.
Yo, come on, y'all. Let's get the goods. You ran from us just because we black?
So in this one, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are actually played by teenagers and have teenage voices. And for some reason, everyone just lost their shit because of that. Like people were saying like, "Oh wow, like I'm finally glad that they actually sound like teenagers." And I'm thinking like, okay. I mean, they've never really sounded like teenagers before. I mean, they don't look like your average teenagers. I mean, even in the comics, like people don't realize that in the comic books, they're huge. They're huge turtles. So I don't know. When I think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the word teenagers just kind of floats out of my mind, and I don't really think of that. So in this one, there are teenagers, but they're like more preteens because they're really tiny. So I mean, I guess that's something to be proud of. I don't know. It just seems strange to me like that. All of a sudden, people are like worried about the fact that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles actually look and sound like teenagers.
Who the fuck cares?
I did feel like some of the voice actors was a little weird. I feel like they should have switched Donnie and Mikey's voice actors because generally Michelangelo is looked at as the youngest brother. So his voice is deeper than Donnie's, which I think is weird. Donnie's voice kind of fit, but I feel like Donnie's voice actor would have fit better as Michelangelo's, but that's just me. So next up is The Running Man, a very cool futuristic Arnie film. Has this really dope slipcover too. I really like that. I found this at Zia and it's brand new. They had it on sale for like $17. There's a little bit of a ding there. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But yeah, it was brand new. And I was like, whoa, $17 for this? Like, that's awesome. That's a good deal. I've never seen The Running Man, so I'm going to check it out. And it came with an awesome slipcover. I had never seen this movie before, but when I got it, I watched it and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. Basically like that, futuristic trope of an oppressive government kind of making sure that everyone stays in line. And if they don't, they get put into these games and pretty much got to fight for their lives. So yeah, The Running Man, it was pretty interesting. And I'm really glad that I bought it because I really enjoyed it. Next up is one that I have not opened yet and I haven't even seen. This is a blind buy and I was interested in seeing it when it came out, but it kind of just went under the radar. And so when I saw it at Zia, they had the Steelbook and it had the awesome slipcover. So I thought, why not? Silent Night here. You can see I got it for $15.99. I actually used my points. I got it half off. So that was pretty cool. I really like the imagery on this. It is a John Woo film with Joel Kinnaman. John Woo is known for having a pretty specific style. And I mean, I tend to really enjoy John Woo movies. So I'm glad to see him back. I'm glad to see him still doing movies. But yeah, Silent Night, hopefully I enjoy it. I don't really even know what it's about. Or recent releases. I thought this was going to sell out, but it didn't. So I called Zia and was like, hey, do you have these? Yeah, cool. Set one aside for me. And went after work, grabbed it. Still haven't opened it to watch it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space Steelbook on 4K. I really like the cover. I think the art style is really, really cool. I'm pretty sure when I open it up, it'll have a really cool image. But yeah, I haven't opened it yet. I'm really looking forward to watching this one. Really hope the transfer looks amazing. I haven't heard anything bad about it, so hopefully it's pretty good. Once again, this one goes back to my childhood, cheesy B horror movies. I absolutely love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I have multiple copies of this movie. Every time it came out on DVD, Blu-ray. If they had put out a Steelbook, I grabbed it. and now I have the 4K Steelbook. I wasn't sure about getting the Steelbook because I know typically the Steelbook will cost more, but when I went to Zia, they had the slipcover, regular 4K slipcover version, and this one was actually cheaper. They had it on sale, and it was actually like a few dollars cheaper than the regular 4K. So I thought, all right, I honestly I kind of like the cover art for the regular 4K a little more, but since this was cheaper and a Steelbook, I was like, all right, cool, I'm getting this one.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
And last but not least, the coup de grace here. This one sold out almost immediately. When I went to the store, they said they had one and they didn't. Well, they had one technically, but it was actually on hold for somebody, so I couldn't get that one. And then I had to drive to another store about 20 minutes away because they were the only ones that had it. So I called them, had them hold it, hauled ass all the way over there and picked it up. The Crow 4K Steelbook with this awesome slipcover here. It is opened. I finally watched it. Took me a while to watch it just because I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch a lot of my movies. I have a big backlog of movies that I've bought and haven't watched yet. There's at least like 20 or more movies on there that I still need to watch. Set the time aside to watch The Crow. I think the transfer is awesome. It looks amazing. This slipcover is awesome. I like how it just, kind of, you can see through it. Still a little J card on there. I know there was like a Walmart exclusive that also sold out everywhere. This also sold out on Amazon. Like my Zia sold out of these in like literally minutes after they opened.
Mind blown.
So it was insane, the fact that these went and sold out so fast. I even saw one maybe a week after it released at Zia, and they had it priced for like $50, a used one. And I think it was the Walmart version. Yeah, the one that has like the eyes and the crow in it. Yeah, that one was at Zia, and it was priced at $50. It is no longer there. So somebody bought it for $50. It is insane. Less than a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, and like a used copy came in and it was priced at that high. Insanity. But yeah, so I'm really glad that I was able to snag this one. Kind of bummed that it only came with the 4K. I just want to have variety. I want to have the options of the Blu-ray or the 4K, especially if I'm paying $30+ for something. I want to have both options. So that was it, you guys. My recent haul of Steelbooks on 4K and a couple Blu-rays there. Pretty sure I'll end up picking up more as time goes on. I'll find some here and there, and I'll probably do another one. But yeah, those are the most recent Steelbooks that I've gotten. Very happy to have all of them. Very happy that you guys are here watching. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I am your host, Fox. Please consider subscribing. Consider leaving a comment, dropping a like on the video. Consider ringing the bell if you'd like. That way you're notified when I drop a new video. Been picking up a ton of things, so I've got plenty of physical media content and hauls to show you guys. I've got some collection videos coming up soon. I want to show off my boutique labels now that I think I have a considerable amount. I've been wanting to do a whole like 4K collection complete, but I just keep picking up stuff that's going to have to be held off for a while until I just kind of like stop and not get anything for like a month or something. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.